What's up, people? I'm me, man. Mr. B, same one in the place. And me follow a developing situation down a yard where we now understand that the big man himself, Usain St. Leo Bolt, let me give him title, the Honorable Dr. Usain St. Leo Bolt, is about to start talking as he is dissatisfied with the way how information surrounding his monies deposited at Stocks and Securities Limited. He is dissatisfied with the reporting on the whole investigation of the losses suffered by the institution, to the extent that he is now going to be starting to give interviews, to declaring his own position and the level of frustration that he has been experiencing. Now, nobody can fault Usain Bolt in respect of that. It is clear that at the outset, when this thing broke, there was some sort of a attempt being made by the authorities to sort of tamp down the negative publicity that would have been generated by this thing. And obviously, this has now turned around to hurt and haunt some of the affected persons, in particular, Usain Bolt. Now, the public out there may be under the maybe under the misapprehension that, there is a way that Bolt should be able to get back his money. In fact, people are willing to go out on a limb to suggest that, whether the government or some institution, whatever it is, should be able to pay back Bolt his money. And again, for this purpose of discussion, let it be clear, Bolt is not the only person who have lost money in that, debacle that goes by the name of SSL. Of course, we know that such lady is still languishing in jail because she is not granted any bail. And she has already indicated that her confession that she had made, she's rescinding the confession and is out to start talking. At the same time, the depositors or the investors are now seeking to have the matter dealt with through the courts. Bolt, you will remember, had served papers on the organization, and we are now almost half a year into this thing, and no useful information has been forthcoming to satisfy the respective depositors, Mr. Bolt included. And so Bolt has now decided that he is going to start to give interviews because the promises that were made to him have not been kept. And one kind of wonder what kind of promises could have been made to him. Let me make this clear. Stocks and Securities Limited is not a deposit-taking institution. Stocks and Securities Limited is, if you want to call them, an investment firm. What they do is that they take your money and then place it and buy stocks, in private companies and trade those stocks on behalf of the customers, among other things. But they are certainly not a deposit-taking institution, as you would say with a commercial bank or a merchant bank or a credit union or organizations of that nature. And so what that means is that investors who have placed money with an organization such as this one does so at their own risk. Now, it doesn't inspire any confidence that the Financial Services Commission, who had done some investigation on this company some years back, I think between 2015 2017, had already indicated that the kind of activities that this organization was engaged in and the way they managed clients' funds left a lot to be desired. And so one wonders why any well-thinking person would have, in the face of that kind of information, continued to place their hard-earned money with an organization with this kind of reputation. And remember, this is not the first time that SSL had come before the system. A lot of people seem to be more concerned with, what the behind the scenes stories are. There is accusation that the current administration is in bed with SSL, and all the more reason why they are not prepared to bring down the hammer on the principles of the company. Be that as it may, as I said, there are at least one case that we know that is now before the court, and what is coming out is that a lot of promises seem to have been made, and they not only were there promises made, but promises not kept, and clearly Mr. Bolt finds himself up against it in respect of this scenario. So what's the short position? Unless Usain Bolt and the other depositors can sue the company and its principals, managers, and basically enjoined all of them, personally into this lawsuit, where they would be personally liable to himself and the depositor, the investors, if you will. Them not give out the money. I can tell you that. The job is to find out where this money is lying down, because we're talking about in excess of $3 billion, and this is at the low end. And people out there want to believe that Miss Such Lady is the one who thieved the $3 billion. No, it is now coming out into the open that there are more participants in this activity. But the bottom line is, unless Mr. Bolt and his fellow fund outlayers are prepared to go to court, wind up the operation, right? Sue the directors and the owners and directors of the company, and basically dispose of whatever assets them have that is conjoined with the business, there is as much hope that Bolt will get back his money, including the other investors. There's as much hope for them as a snowball in a furnace at 2,000 degrees. I'm just telling you that. Because under the law in Jamaica, the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Scheme makes it clear that they provide insurance, and I'm reading here, it says they provide insurance against the loss of deposits in commercial bank, trust companies, merchant banks, and building societies. It does not cover funds in money market brokers, investment firms, unit trusts, mutual funds, life insurance companies, and I've made a mistake earlier when I said credit union. It doesn't cover funds in a credit union either. So, Mr. Bolt, go and go get an interview them. Now listen to no damn thieving politician, right? I'll tell you to keep quiet, because they're only saying keep quiet so that them not embarrass the country and embarrass them, because it is under the stewardship of the current administration. I don't care who else did it before. Right now, the persons who are at the wicket, they are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, you, Mr. Usain, and the other people who had laid their money with this institution, this organization, you are liable for your own risk. You ought to have been knowledgeable enough about how the money market thing work, or this deposit and investment thing work, to understand that this was a risk that you take to put your money at a place like this that is not covered by any form of insurance. And so unless you can take a civil action against the owners and seek to wind up this company, which means you get some forensic auditors who will find out whether the money invested in a cryptocurrency, which we think some of that money in a cryptocurrency all over the place, and it gone. If that's the case, 93% of that money we know that gone, never to come back, right? If it tie up in some of the high-rise building, which have flooded the Jamaican and particularly the Kingston and St. Andrew landscape, me wish you luck, because you don't have enough people in Jamaica who have money to buy them apartment there. And even if you are able to liquidate, you're going to liquidate for cents on the dollar, right? So if going out a road and go get interview and make noise and raise backside is going to work for you, for sort of put some amplify the publicity around, just how dangerous this situation has been to yourself and your fellow investors, go and do it, because other than that, you ain't getting back nothing. He can tell you that. It's either that or you find the owner of them and you sue them personally, especially if you can say that they lure you with promises and you have paperwork for support it. Guess what? Dog, nyam, your supper. Right? Under the law, you're there by your own. And that is what the government is not telling you. Mr. Holness, who is the Prime Minister, and him Finance Minister, who lie like a cheap watch. They ain't telling you that. Right? And as long as you keep quiet, you buy them more time to find a way how them can play the story. Check it, right? Me just give you the facts, and me want people out there who are uninformed to inform themselves. You see that little something we have in our hand, most of it, have it, is a computer. You can use it and research and find out all of them things what me talk about, right? You don't have to have no college professor degree or have no working experience in a financial institution to be able to find out that, or to learn that if you put your money in them kind of place, it better ever play Peter Pat and tree card, because at the same kind of risk. At least when them man their teeth, you see them right in front of you. Them man their teeth you, and them teeth you slick. Eh? So go out a road and go make whole heap of nice, right? If that gives some satisfaction, because other than that, dog name your supper, Mr. Bolt. Sorry for telling you that. But if you don't like the video, I'm going to ask you to just share it. If you have not yet signed up for the channel, I'm going to invite you as well for just, subscribe to the channel. And that way, every time we drop a video, you get an opportunity to be, first among, right? And of course, may I ask you for leave your feedback in the comment section. Let me hear what you think about what me think. But, as far as I'm concerned, me sympathize with Usain, and me sympathize with all the people who lose their money. But nobody never hold your hand and carry you go in there for put on the money. And so, you need to accept them people, especially enough of them red-skinned people, them are thief, and them thief your money. Let me hear what I think. Respect.